What are 3 ways to estimate how much you're going to get done in a week without missing your deadlines? Hello, awesome team members. Welcome to the place where I give valuable information just for you for free, made possible by your support. Thank you for subscribing and liking. And now, to the whiteboard. Does this sound familiar? You have lots on your plate, and your boss asks you to provide an estimate. And you say, well, this project will take me 10 days. These tasks will take me 5 hours. This task will take 7 hours. This task will take 15 hours. And you're estimating all this, and what do you know? You totally messed up the estimates, because by the end of a week or two, you just didn't complete what you thought you were going to complete. And that's because you've fallen into the trap of the absolute estimate. Our mind is really bad when it comes to absolute estimating. We're just not born with the capacity to say how long something will take and actually being accurate. It reminds me of the famous joke, when you're running away from a bear in the forest, it doesn't really matter how fast you run, as long as you run faster from the guy next to you, right? Traditionally, we have a big list, we do absolute sizing, and we fail. You can look up all the projects they failed in the last 100 or 10,000 years, and you'll notice they all follow the same pattern. Someone made a promise. I'm going to complete the Sistine Chapel in 3 years. And then after 13 years, they're still working on it. The absolute estimate is one of those horrible, horrible ideas that we've been living with in the last 70, 80 years. And it's time we moved forward. All right, so absolute sizing is wrong. It really provides bad results. What's the solution then? Relative sizing. And we're going to share 3 approaches for relative sizing that work really, really well. First one is poker planning with story points. Poker planning? Seriously? Yes, and it works really well, even if you have to work with a team together to estimate activities or tasks. So how does it work? Look at that list that you created, your backlog of activities. Maybe you manage them in Jira or any other tool, and ask yourself, what is the smallest? Compared to everything else, right? The smallest. Give that smallest a 1. We call these 1s story points, just so we understand this is not hours and it's not days. It's just a certain level of effort that's the smallest compared to everything else, and that gets a 1. Now go through your list and ask yourself, compared to this 1 story point, 1 apple, the other things you have there in the list, are they the same? In terms of the effort, in terms of maybe the risk, of the complexity, then they get a 1 as well. If it's double the effort, or maybe the risk, or the uncertainty, it's a 2. If it's 3 times, it gets a 3. And then the next number is, you've guessed it, it's not 4, it's 5. And then 8, and then 13. We actually use something called Fibonacci sequencing to work with story points. If you're really interested why, just shoot me a question down below and I'll explain. So we use 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and then 20 to estimate relatively to that 1. So the first step, really important, is figure out what's your 1. Some of us actually make it even more simple. We use t-shirts when we size. How do you use relative sizing when you size with t-shirts? Well, you can use 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. So you look at your list of things that you've used Moscow, prioritization, look at the last video, and now you have like 12 must-haves. You look at them and you ask yourself, which one is the smallest size? And you give it a small. And then you compare them to the small, and you ask yourself, which is a medium? Medium in terms of maybe effort, maybe risk, maybe the complexity. So it's not just about duration. And you give them maybe large. The benefit again is the ability to quickly provide estimates. All right, so I promised 3 ways. What about the third one? The third one is a secret. And it's actually so profound and smart that you're going to be blown away. and this is called bite sizing. Remember, we're working on weekly increments, weekly time boxes, weekly sprints. Our cadence is a week, or maybe 2 weeks. What if, instead of having different sizes brought into the backlog and to complete, we started looking at all the work that we need to complete and we broke it down into similar size, small increments. And that's the biggest thing Agile and Kanban have provided us with. Instead of a lot of different sizes where we need to bang our head against the wall and you use smart poker planning, tarot-based cards, or t-shirts, let's just break everything to the same small size. There are numerous benefits here. One, we don't need to estimate different sizes. We just need to deliver over a week and ask yourself, how much of these bite sizes were we able to complete? 7, 10, 12. That informs us of our next delivery cycle. There's also another benefit. Stuff moves faster when it's smaller and it's about the same size. That's all for me today. We talked about why absolute fails and 3 awesome ways to estimate your workload and not miss your deadline. And remember, Agile is all about you.